Hare Krishna. Generally, people ask one question, whether this spiritual growth continues after death. I'm really happy at least they have faith that there is a rebirth, there is a reincarnation, and they have some sense or some understanding about life after death. Generally, when we earn something in this material world, we can't carry when we die. Like there is a nice story about Sikandar. When he's on his deathbed, he asked all his minister, when I die, just spread my two hands like this out of my coffin and keep all the wealth that we have gathered together by killing so many people, by conquering so many kingdoms, whatever wealth we have amassed, just keep it in a row and take me in between that. Then they said, why? Why you want to do this? Then he said, I wanted to show people whatever I have earned throughout the life through my this material senses, I'm going to give it up. I'm not taking it anything along with me. So materially what we have earned will not carry anything with us. But spiritually what we have earned, that gets carried over in our next life. And that's the philosophy of Vedas. Because living entity who is eternal got conditioned by this material nature because of his activities and desire to enjoy in this material world. That keeps him traveling from one body to another. And whatever spiritual practices you have performed that go along with your subtle body. There are two kinds of body that we carry. Soul has a two kinds of body. One is subtle and one is gross. When person, they say die, means he leaves his gross body and he is carried to another gross body through the vehicle of mind, intelligence and ego, which has the impressions of whatever spiritual activities you have done in previous life, and they never get chopped out. Like in this lifetime I have completed my post-graduation. When I take a next birth, then I have to again start it from the LKG, senior KG, then Montessori, then first, second, third, like that. I have to continue with that cycle. But in spiritual way, if you have done the 50% of your spiritual life, you can continue in the next life with the 51%. Don't you have to start from the first one. You will start from the 51%, because whatever you do, that gets counted in eternal realm rather than the temporary one. Because that things, whatever you have performed for the eternal person, and that get counted in eternity. And that's why the whatever you have done in the spiritual way, that continues in your life after death. There is a growth in that rather than getting it down. And there are so many examples that we find in our scriptures. Like Maharaj Jadabharat. He was a king on whose name our country is known as Bharat. When he left his body, and next birth he got a body of a deer, and because of the devotional service what he has performed as in the form of a human being, that was so pure, he got a benediction known as a Jati Smara, means who can remember from the previous life, and he continued staying in the hermits of great rishis, and he heard about their lordship. And the next life he became a son of Brahmana, Jada Bharat. And in this lifetime he made sure that he will not get entangled materially in anything. So he remained like a Jada. And he perfected his life. So the spiritual growth continues after death also. No doubt about that. Hare Krishna.